I used to believe that the moment I started to truly be myself, the moment I stopped pretending, the moment I stopped people pleasing, the moment I stopped bending over backwards for other people, that everything in my life would be peaches and cream and daisies and rainbows and everything nice, right? But that was absolutely wrong. What I came to realize was this: one of the easiest things to be in life is yourself. But one of the harshest and hardest things to be in this world is also yourself. I'm gonna say that again. One of the easiest things to be in life is yourself. But one of the hardest things to be in this world is also yourself. And what I mean by that is, when you are fully yourself, when you begin to fully show up to life as yourself, everything in your life feels aligned. Everything in your life feels organic. Everything in your life feels authentic. Right? But on the flip side, the moment you truly begin to show up as yourself, you are going to encounter a great deal of difficulty in the world. Because what you have to understand is this: this world wasn't built for authenticity. This world wasn't built for your autonomy. This world wasn't built for people who are willing to stand out, willing to not fit in a box and fit the paradigm of what society expects you to be. And because you're going to be outside of that box, because you're going to stay in your own lane and you're going to be true to yourself, you are going to experience a great deal of difficulty. And this is something that I had to come to realize, right? This is something that I had to experience on my own because no one warned me about this. Very often people just say, just be yourself. Be true to you. And it is brilliant advice. It is absolutely marvelous and wonderful advice, right? But the thing is that very few people warn you about the cons, warn you about the downsides of actually being yourself. So in this video, right, I'm going to expand and talk about some of the experiences that I've personally had when I made the transition from pretending to be someone else and I truly started to show up to life as my authentic self. And my hope for this video, my goal for this video, is to help those who are on their path, is to help those who are trying to transition from being a people pleaser, being a pretender, bending over backwards for other people, and stepping into your own and your uniqueness. My goal for this video is to help you become aware of some of the things that you are going to experience once you start to truly be yourself. Right? So, with that being said, let's begin. Now, the first thing that I began to experience the moment I started to truly be myself was that a lot of bonds that I had, a lot of relationships that I had, a lot of friendships that I had began to fall apart. That is one of the biggest things that you are going to experience the moment you truly start being yourself. And see, what you have to understand is this, right? The old you, the old version of yourself, the you that people pleased, the you that pretended, the you that bended over backwards, right? The you that stifled who you were just to fit in, right? That you is no longer going to be present. And because that you is no longer going to be present, and you're not going to show up to that person, I should say, those bonds that you had are not going to be sustained because the old you is not there to sustain them anymore. So bonds and relationships and friendships, even some of your relationships with your family members, they are going to begin to unravel. They are going to begin to fall apart, right? And when these bonds and these relationships begin to fall apart, we have this natural tendency to try to save them. This natural tendency to try to go back to our old ways, go back to our old habits, go back to our old patterns, just so that we can keep these people in our lives. But that is one of the worst things that you can do, right? When I began to experience this, I found myself in this place in which I was contemplating going back to the things that I was trying to get away from. Going back to the people pleasing, going back to pretending just so I can keep these people in my life. But you have to be willing to let things die. You have to be willing to let things go. You have to be willing to allow people who don't accept you as you are, who want you to keep pretending, who want you to keep people pleasing. You have to be willing to let them go. Not every relationship can be saved. Not everyone can come with you. If you're trying to be better, if you're trying to be more authentic, if you're trying to get away from the people-pleasing tendencies, you have to be willing to sacrifice quite a few relationships, quite a few friendships, maybe even the romantic relationship that you have right now, maybe even some toxic family members. You have to be willing to sacrifice those relationships. And I'm not saying it's something that's going to be easy, right? But when it comes on to life, either you're going to choose yourself or you're going to stay playing small and being someone else. But when it comes on to choosing yourself very often comes with some harsh decisions. Choosing yourself comes with some, harsh actions. You're going to have to do some things that you truly deep down don't want to do. But in order to truly be yourself, fully experience yourself, and grow into the most authentic, optimized version of yourself, you have to be willing to let some people and let some bonds go. This is very, 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 very important. Because the moment you start trying to save some things, you are going to go back to the same version of yourself that you are trying to get away from. Right? And this leads me into the second thing that you're going to experience, right? And it sort of connects. The second thing that you're going to experience is that for periods of your life, you might experience loneliness or aloneness. Now, there is obviously a difference between them, right? Loneliness to me is the absence of a feeling that we believe is meant to be filled by someone else, right? Loneliness is when you feel as if you being by yourself, you being in solitude, it feels sort of like an attack or as if something is missing, right? But aloneness is different. Aloneness is when you're in your own solitude, when you're by yourself, but that feeling of something being missing is not present, right? So there is a difference between both, right? But regardless of whatever difference or however you want to differentiate them, you are going to experience loneliness or aloneness. You are going to be by yourself, right? When these old relationships, old bonds, begin to unravel and fall apart, you might find yourself alone. And you're going to find yourself alone for two main reasons. And the first reason you're going to find yourself alone is that life is trying to get you to stand on your own. Life is trying to get you to stay strong in who you are. Life is trying to show you that you believing that your happiness and your fulfillment and your joy being dependent on someone else isn't truly real, right? And this is something that I had to experience in my moments of aloneness, in my moments of loneliness, right? I had to recognize that no one could truly fill the void or fill the space that I was meant to fill. No one could truly cure my loneliness, right? That is something I had to realize. And instead of continuously looking to other people, instead of continuously expecting other people to fill the space that I thought I was missing, I had to fill it on my own, right? The second reason why you're going to find yourself alone or lonely is that you're going to realize that people truly don't want you to be yourself. People say they want you to be yourself, but they truly don't want you to be yourself, right? Because the version of you that pretended, the version of you that people pleased, the version of you that kept bending over backwards, you have to understand that a lot of people benefited from it. A lot of people exploited it, right? And you're no longer that version of yourself. And if you've been pretending all your life to be someone else, if you've been people pleasing for most of your life, you have to understand that that version of you is probably not going to attract the most authentic people. You're going to attract energy vampires. You're going to attract people who are low-key exploiting you. And once you truly start being yourself, you begin to tell a lot of these people no. You begin to stop doing some of the things that you've been doing for so long, because it is no longer true to you. You can no longer sustain it. And because of that, you are going to find yourself alone, right? You are going to find yourself in periods of aloneness and even loneliness until you recognize that nothing is missing, until you recognize that no one can fill some void within you, and you truly start looking within yourself, right? So this is something that is very prominent for those people who have made the transition from pretending most of their lives to stepping into their authenticity. They are going to find themselves alone. They're going to find themselves in periods of loneliness, right? And it is important that you don't go back to these people. It is important that you don't go back to the old you, and you stand on who you are until life brings you the people who are meant for you. Until you find the people who are willing to accept you for you. It is important that you stay true to who you are, right? Now, the last thing that you're going to experience as a result of truly being yourself is that you are going to experience a great deal of criticism and backlash. And this one is very, 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 very true but important, right? Because what you have to understand is this. Since you've been pretending to be someone else for so long, since you've pretended, and people please and bend it over backwards, so on and so forth, and once you make the transition from all that to truly being yourself, you are going to begin to make certain decisions and do certain things which might not, come across well, or a lot of people in your life might not be pleased with, right? So a lot of people are going to look at you sideways. A lot of people who are used to an older version of you, right? A past version of you, they are going to be surprised, right? And not only are they going to be surprised, they are going to be quite displeased. They are going to shame you. They are going to criticize you. They are going to say how much you've changed. They are going to sort of try to guilt you to go back to the old you. And if you're not strong in yourself, if you cannot stand in who you are, right? If you're not willing to endure criticism and backlash, you are going to go back to that old version of yourself. You are going to go back to the pretending and the people pleasing. Right? So when people begin to criticize you, when people begin to talk bad about you, when people begin to say all sorts of things about you, the moment you begin to start making your own decisions and making your own choices, you have to be willing to stand in who you are. You have to be willing to say, this is me. This is who I am. I'm done pretending. I'm done people pleasing. I'm done bending over backwards. This is me. These choices, these decisions are my own. You have to be willing to stand in that. You cannot allow the world to shake you. You cannot allow people around you to get you to go back to that old version of yourself. You have to be willing to stand in who you are and be crucified. You have to be willing to still feel good about yourself. You have to be willing to love yourself through all of that. You have to. Because best believe, every single person on this earth who has stepped into their authenticity and stopped pretending, stopped bending over backwards, they have been criticized quite a bit. I've had my own share of criticism. But I had to be strong enough to stay true to who I am, to say no to people, to say I'm not doing that, to say I'm not going back to that. I had to be strong in myself. And you are going to need to be strong, or this world will shake you. This world will break you. This world will demolish you if you're not strong in yourself. Right? So, like I said before, one of the easiest things to be in this life is yourself. But one of the hardest things to be in this world is also yourself. Life is absolutely beautiful when you're authentic and you're true to yourself. But on the other hand, as with everything in life, there is going to be downsides. And you have to be willing to accept whatever comes with you being yourself. You have to be willing to accept that, and not only accept it, but stand in it. Stand in who you are. And know that whatever life takes away from you, whatever changes take place within your life, the moment you step into your authenticity, those changes are for the better. And you have to stay strong in yourself until life catches up within you. So all those old bonds, those old relationships, so on and so forth, those moments of aloneness or loneliness that you might begin to experience, you have to understand that is life unraveling everything that wasn't real to bring into your life what is truly real. So don't hold on to what is connected to the old you, to the people pleasing you, to the, the bending over backwards type of guy or girl. Don't hold on to it. Let it all go. And stay strong in yourself. Stay strong in your identity. Stay strong in who you are. Because that is how life is meant to be lived. Don't allow this world to shake you, right? That is my biggest message to you guys. Don't allow life to shake you. Stay true to who you are and stay strong in yourself. All right? So yeah, those are some of the things that you will begin to experience as a result of fully, truly being yourself. Right? It's important that you know this, and it's important that you stay strong, stay grounded, stay rooted on who you are, no matter what. Right? Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace and blessings.